Part of EEB's mission is to harness the power of ecology and evolutionary biology to develop solutions to global challenges. We have a wonderful commencement speaker today, and Dr. Brad Schaefer will introduce her. Dr. Schaefer.
You should clap for her, not me. So thanks, Greg, and what a great day, huh? I don't know if you're noticing or not, but there's all of these great cliff swallows flying around over your head right now. It's a wonderful sign of urban biodiversity. Anyhow, so I got to know Kat Darst when she was an undergrad in my lab, hopefully an experience that many of you had. We were both at let's just say another campus of the University of California at that time. I hadn't moved to UCLA yet. And Kat did some great research in my lab, working on some turtles, some Australian turtles, and learning how to do genetics work in evolutionary biology. And she finished up, and then after graduation, excuse me, moved to the University of Texas in Austin, where she pursued a truly brilliant PhD program at Texas, and I use that word very, very, very sparingly. I hardly ever say it, but Kat's work was really something else. She worked on these wonderful frogs way out in the middle of nowhere in the tropical forests of Ecuador. Completed a great PhD, published in all the best journals, and during that time, she's told me that she also realized that doing just scholarship, just doing academic science, wasn't quite enough. And what she really wanted to do was to conserve biodiversity, conserve species. So she came back to California and took a job with the federal government, where she now works as the head of listing and recovery in a major branch of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And I hope she'll tell us a little bit about that today. There's just two things that I want to say about Kat before I turn over the microphone to her. The first is that, at least in my experience, and I do a lot of work in conservation biology, Kat Darst has probably done more on the ground, real, positive work to save species from going extinct, plants and animals, in Southern California, probably than any other person working right now. It's an amazing accomplishment, and she's a really amazing scientist and administrator. And the second is that Kat always remembered, and has always, I think, kept front and center, that you achieve things by working with good people. And she's recognized, certainly in the decade that I've been here, that the UCLA undergraduates are a fantastic group of people for her in the federal government to collaborate with. Kat and I have taught classes together. She's given inspirational talks to my classes. She's funded research for our students, always with the goal of engaging our students, you guys, and accomplishing her mission, which is to save species from going extinct. She's an amazing colleague, an amazing friend, and it's my real pleasure to turn over the microphone to our 2022 EEB Commencement speaker, Dr. Catherine Darst.
Thank you for the introduction. That was awesome. I'm Kat Darst with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and I am honored to get to talk with you on this very special morning. You all have put in a tremendous amount of time and a huge amount of work to get to this point. If getting a degree from the University of California, Los Angeles wasn't hard, then the degree wouldn't mean what it does. And it means a lot. You've earned every round of applause and every bit of congratulations that you will receive today. In fact, let's go for one right now. Awesome job. And you've accomplished this incredible feat during some very difficult years. We heard about this from our other speaker. As we're all well aware, this world has been turned upside down by a global pandemic. It's been scary and confusing, and I'm so glad we could be here together today in person. Maybe one more. One interesting thing that COVID did was shine a spotlight on many of the world's problems: economic inequalities, racial injustice, lacks in basic health care. And all this against the backdrop of the 6th mass extinction of the amazing plants and animals that we get to share this planet with. And just like most of our other problems, this extinction problem is the result of our own doing. Habitat loss and fragmentation, invasive species, rising temperatures, severe droughts, massive wildfires, they're all on the increase. It is not okay, it is our fault, and it is negatively affecting life on Earth. John Dingell, one of the authors of the U.S. Endangered Species Act, wrote, "Living wild species are like a library of books still unread. Our heedless destruction of them is akin to burning the library without ever having read its books." We don't even know in many cases what we're losing, but we do know that wild species need clean water, clean air, and healthy soils. And we know that as humans, this incredible group of humans, we need these things too. So if our own actions are causing a mass extinction of other species that depend on these things, we are putting ourselves at risk as well. So the question is, what do we do? How do we break from the old decision patterns that keep us on the path we're on? How do we discover the new viable solutions to turn this ship around to save the environment? And the answer is, it's you. It's all of you. With degrees in biology from the incredible University of California, it's all you. You have no pressure, but it's all you. With your training in science, your scientific training that you've worked so hard to get, you are uniquely positioned to contribute to solutions to our deepest, darkest problems. Your training in science isn't about the facts that you learned to get your degree. Although biology facts really are the best facts. I mean, who else gets to tell their friends that snakes and lizards have hemipenes except EEB majors? It's us! But really, what science is, it's a way of thinking. Your scientific training has primed you to ask questions, collect information, organize and test ideas, apply what you learn. Your scientific training gives you a framework to be bold in an unpredictable future by allowing you to try things out in a structured way. It allows you to take risks with big ideas, hypothesize, test, adjust until you find the best solution, and adjust again as you get new information. Science is a process for systematic perseverance in the face of uncertainty. And in the end, it doesn't really matter where your career path takes you. You guys have so many options. You can be an educator, a journalist, a consultant. You can work for an agency or academia. You can be in medicine or work for a nonprofit or go into government. There are so many avenues where you can use your scientific training as a framework to be bold in your way of thinking and solving problems. There are so many spaces from which you can take risks and make a difference. Because if we're going to find solutions to save the environment, defeat future pandemics, build equality, we're going to have to take risks. There's just no other way. And that is exactly what you were trained to do. Your scientific training has prepared you to ask the questions, to test your ideas, develop conclusions based on what you know, and adapt over time. This framework for taking risks and solving problems will serve you in whatever you do next. You've spent years preparing for this, and you are ready. You are trained to be bold in your thinking. Use this training to make the world a better place. Huge, huge congratulations again to the class of 2022. I believe in you.